I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself tonight, if I could. The most exciting thing I can tell you about myself, I know, is that in the last several years, for the first times, I have become a grandfather. Yes. Any grandparents here tonight? Yes. You grandparents know then, or I should ask you, is there anything like it? Honest, I didn't know that I had that place. I told my two sons, I thought I loved you with my whole heart. But apparently not. Because until your kids were born, I didn't know I had that extra 3/4 in there. Yeah. And then my mom and dad got a chance to come out and meet their first great-grandson. His name was Ben, is still Ben. And to see my dad, this little old man, holding this little baby, the same family, vastly different worlds, huh? Here's this little baby who was just born in a high-tech hospital to well-educated, affluent parents. And here's my dad, this little old man, who was not born into affluency, but born to dirt-poor immigrant Swedish farmers in the Rocky Hills of Pennsylvania, and not born in a high-tech hospital, but born out in the barn. And then they laid him in the manger. Because there was no room in the hospital. And then the shepherds came. Roy and Vera Shepherd from the farm down the road. They came. Hey, Tony, can I have that controller there? Yeah. See, I want to give you guys a little background here, if I could, on myself, a little history. This is the house that I grew up in. This is the house that that I moved my mom and dad out of just 4 or 5 years ago now. In north central Pennsylvania. This is the house that my parents lived in for 50 years, during which time they threw away nothing. I pulled up to that right side garage door. My dad is overwhelmed with the job that we've just done. He said, "What do you want to do with these?" He's got a pile of slide carousels, 20 of them to be exact, spanning 20 years of my life. That's 100 slides per carousel, roughly 2,000 slides in no particular order. I said, "Dad, put them in those boxes, send them to me in Minnesota. I will take care of them. You do not need to worry about the family slides. I will be the new keeper of the family slides." Here's the truth. I didn't want them because I remembered our family slides. How many of you remember your family slides? All right, probably the same reason. I felt that many of our slides were not well cared for. I thought a lot of them were not high quality. It seemed I would say, "Dad, why do you even keep a slide like that? Honestly, why don't you just throw it away?" He'd say, "No, I like your mom and that little wedge up there. I think she looks pretty." Oh, and if we had 2,000 slides, 1,300 of them had a flame coming from one side or the other. No idea how it got there, what the cause of this thing was. When the man sold this camera to my mom, he said, "Lucille, you're going to love this camera. You can hardly take a bad picture." Then he took the camera, pointed at my mom, and took the very first shot. And focus was sometimes a problem, though apparently not for my dad. My dad would look at this very slide and he would say, "I love that shot right there. Your Aunt Audrey, she looks so pretty in that sailor outfit, don't you think? And your grandma in the middle, she looked healthy there. Look at the smile on her face. And Lucille, why don't you wear that orange pantsuit anymore? I thought that was so attractive." This, as you can see, is my mom on the left there on the front porch and my teenage sister in the middle. It's kind of embarrassing, but you can tell on the right there by the fashions are some relatives visiting from Sweden. So. Kids in the digital age have no idea the fun that they're missing out on. Double exposures. Yeah. This is one my big sister called Winter Dreams. Another of my artsy composition, my mom and dad floating in the trees, over the car, beside the bike, in the road there. Another of my sister doing handstands in her bathing suit in somebody's snowfield. We're not sure whose that is. Look at the pictures hanging on the walls. This is a picture of my grandma and grandpa sitting on their couch in their living room there in Glacier National Park. I love this slide, especially because it's very sentimental to me. It's the only one that I have of my grandfather bouncing me on his knee. So I was well proportioned as a baby, as you can see there. Oh, and this is a triple. I can't prove this to you. I wish I could, but you don't know these people. But I swear there are 3 couples in this photograph who have never met. Oh, sorry, blank. The blanks would blind us. Do you remember? How many of you remember that? But because our pupils would be this big, and then that blank would come, and they would constrict, and we as a family would just shout out, blank. We couldn't help it. It hurt so bad. We'd go, blank, in unison. Try it once, everybody. Blank. Okay, here, once again. Here comes your turn. Ready? And this is our favorite double. Niagara Falls, sort of. It's a picture of me on the left, and to the right there, the giant naked ghost baby. And that guardrail's in a handy place, don't you think? The funny thing is we have no idea who this little girl is. But she always got a big laugh on our family slideshow. Not from me. I didn't laugh because I thought she was kind of creepy. She kept showing up in my slides. Yeah, she's not getting older, but she's getting bigger. Oh, and this is what happens when a slide gets too close to the projector bulb. It burns right up, but we couldn't throw this away because my little sister's in here. If we had 2,000 slides, fully 2/3 of them were my sister. Sister, 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 sister. I used this one when she was 4 to convince her that when she was born, her foot was on backwards. So there was a natural progression to our family slideshows. They went sister, focus, flaming, double, damaged. Ghost baby. Yeah, look close, she's in there. And those of you who think this is indecent, you're not even looking at the naked baby now, are you? Oh, thanks, now you're just laughing at my family. How many of you remember Gary Larson from The Far Side? Remember Gary Larson? Yeah, I think you knew my people. I can't be sure, but I look at this picture, I'm thinking Gary knew. He must have known. And here's the one I wanted you to see, this picture of my dad and myself. I was 14 years old this summer. This was, we took this on a Sunday morning because this was the morning that we realized that we were the same height. Kind of a special father-son moment. It's also the morning that we realized it was time for me to get a big boy tie.